Hey everyone, John Stenstrom here from Cast and Spear, where it's my goal to hopefully inspire you to catch your own food. Something that I learned recently is that when you start catching all of these fish, you're gonna have to do something with the carcasses. A lot of times, people throw them back in the ocean if they're on the party boats, or they use them for compost. The worst is kind of just throwing it in the trash because it's really not going back into the system. But there are some good ways to use these fish in the kitchen as well, and I like to share something that I learned recently from a head chef, and that is how to make fish stock. So let's go see how she does it in this video.
Dice off the top and the bottom, and then you peel it, and then you make your dice whatever size you want, or your slices or whatever. This is what you use for your food, and then this is what usually goes away. But just like we're going to be usually utilizing the carcass, we're also going to utilize all of our scraps for our vegetables. So all this stuff you would just keep in a big bucket, kind of like what we have right there. Leave it in your refrigerator. If you don't cook that often, leave it in your freezer, and then just keep opening your freezer door, popping these guys in, and then when your bucket's full, that's when you make your fish stock. So you can also freeze your carcasses. You don't have to make it all at that same night. So get all that stuff. So the idea is you don't need to use a whole onion for this. You would use the onion scraps. But tonight, since we're just for demonstration purposes, we're just going to use it all. So same thing, any of your carrot peels, you would use the peels of the carrot instead of using the whole carrot. Same thing with celery. If you the top and the bottom, so the top and the bottom of the celery go into our stock. So there's the tops that we just trimmed off just because they get dry, and the bottom, and I don't know what was wrong with these onions. I guess they're in the stock pot now, so there we go. For whatever reason, they got in the pot. Anytime you chop parsley, so what you want to do when you chop parsley is get everything bunched together so you have all the leaves here and then you have all the stems here. Leave the stems on so that you can hold on to them when you're chopping them, and then go ahead and chop them up. And then when you get to the stems, you just stop, but you have something to protect your fingers from chopping through them. And so then all these stems would go in as well. So you would leave the leaves to use in your sauces and your other preparations, and then you'd have the stems that would be in your stock. So all that stuff is going to go into our fish stock, and the nice thing is that it cooks pretty quickly, so we don't have to cook it all day long. Basically about 30 minutes, be able to tell that it's kind of given its magic up. So we're gonna pop the carcass in there.
This one didn't come with the gut, but yes, you definitely would not want the gut or the gills.
Yeah, the gills, just in the gut, they just make it bitter. So we just leave them out for that. Like sometimes people talk about the eyes, making it cloudy. So lots of times you'll see recipes that say to go ahead and rinse off the blood, rinse off the stuff from the outside of the fish. But the one book that Brad and Fernando were showing that they were using, it's an Australian guy.
The whole fish.
Yeah, the whole fish. He's like a master of fish and using the whole fish, and it's given you guys lots of ideas of how to use it. But what he's saying in his recipes for fish stock, which I agree with, is that we want the flavor. The whole point of this is to have the flavor. If we just wanted water, we would just use water, but we actually want the flavor of the fish. So why would we rinse off all the stuff from the fish? We're not going to worry about it being cloudy because we're not claiming we're going to serve a perfectly clear sauce. We're going to put shallots in our sauce. We're going to put some flour and some butter to thicken it up. We're going to put some wine and everything. So if it's a little not perfectly clear, we wouldn't notice it anyways because we're going to be doing other stuff to it. So we're not going to worry about some of those old school style French recipes that are really pretty outdated in terms of who eats them. Anyway, so go ahead, use the whole carcass. Don't rinse it. Don't worry about the blood. It's all good flavor, and it's going to all add to the stock that we're going to get, which is going to make our sauce even better. And so the sauce that we're going to make is just going to be a very, very subtle, classic shallot, white wine, butter, fish stock sauce. So it's just going to be really clean, and that way the flavor of the fish will really come out, and it won't be overpowered by a lot of different stuff. So very subtle, but using all the flavors of the fish.
Well, I hope you found that helpful. Definitely hit that like button and subscribe for more. Leave a comment down below and let me know what fish you like to use for your fish stock, or if you're gonna try fish stock on your next time out in the kitchen. Till next time, keep those lines tight. See ya.